The family of the late Virginia Giuffre have welcomed a decision by Britain's King Charles to formally remove the titles of his brother, Prince Andrew. Buckingham Palace also confirmed that Andrew will also have to move out of his mansion on the Windsor estate.
He was, throughout his life, the Prince, but now is simply Andrew. Outside Windsor Castle today, tourists and locals gave their reaction to this very public fall from grace.
When you're in a royal family, you have to follow rules just like everybody else, and when you break the rules, you pay the consequences.
It probably took a bit longer than they should have to do it, but I suppose family's family. You're protecting each other.
Actually, I've got more respect that they've actually done this because at the end of the day, it is the King's brother.
It was the posthumous words of the late Virginia Giuffre that sparked a public outcry that led to his downfall. Virginia Giuffre wrote of how, at the age of 17, she had sex 3 times with the Prince. It was an allegation he denied, insisting he never met her.
I'm convinced that I was never in trance with her.
Virginia Giuffre spoke of how she was trafficked by the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein, who the Prince was friends with. In fact, Andrew continued that friendship even after Jeffrey Epstein's conviction, all contributing to public pressure on the royal family to act.
I commend the King. I think he's doing an amazing job as a world leader, setting a precedent, but we need to take it one more step further. He needs to be behind bars, period.
Prince Andrew must also leave the 30-room royal lodge on the Windsor estate. Instead, he'll live at a house owned by his brother, the King, at the private Sandringham estate. The royal family will hope that the removal of his titles and mansion will quell public anger and limit the damage caused by the now former Prince Andrew.
And Tommy joins us now from Windsor. Tommy, how will Andrew, who's no longer a working royal, support himself, and what impact will all of this have on his ex-wife and his daughters?
Well, Sharon, there's always been mystery around the finances of the royal family, particularly in relation to Andrew, given, as you say, he hasn't been a working royal for a number of years. He will be moving to the Sandringham estate. He will live in a house owned by his brother, the King. He will be funded by King Charles, but precise details around that arrangement haven't been shared. And as for Sarah Ferguson, well, she will be making her own way. She is, of course, the ex-wife of Andrew, but they had been living together in that 30-room mansion here on the Windsor estate. She will now be sorting her own accommodation, so it seems as though they are now parting ways. And as to when Andrew will actually leave that mansion, well, there are suggestions today that that may not happen until the new year, and that is in order to avoid an awkward moment when the rest of the royal family visits Sandringham at Christmas time, as they traditionally do. So it's an embarrassing fall from grace for Andrew, and whilst the rest of the royal family has clearly sought to distance themselves from him, controversy around Andrew is likely to continue, because you saw there Virginia Giuffre's brother saying that he wants continued action. There was also that confirmation from the Met Police a few weeks ago that they are looking into claims that Andrew asked his former close protection officer to find information on Virginia Giuffre. So attention on the former prince is likely to continue for some time.
London correspondent Tommy Maskell from Windsor, thank you. Well, in Northern Ireland, plans are already underway to change some street signs bearing the former Prince's name. A number of streets in Belfast and beyond are named for the now disgraced royal.
There's a devotion to the British monarchy in parts of Belfast. It finds expression on the city's walls. But it no longer extends to Andrew, stripped of his title by the King. And it could see street names honouring him taken down, like this one, which shares space with a loyalist mural.
Changing street names like these isn't going to be easy. First, 15% of people who live in the houses here have to demand the change. Then they have to come up with 2 alternative options. Then 2/3 of the people surveyed by the council here have to agree to that change.
There are dozens of houses in these streets named after the former prince. Most people either weren't around or weren't keen to talk. Then along came Mary.
Here, what do you think of all the controversy?
Well, I don't like it, you know what I mean? I don't think it's nice, but what can you do about it? The world's upside down as it is, love, so it's all the same to me now at my age, you know.
In Carrickfergus, a motion coming to council will seek to have this road renamed.
In light of everything that's going on, we just don't want a road in Carrick, such an important road in Carrick, named after Andrew anymore. But we feel it's really important to maintain that royal connection.
There are 4 or 5 streets across Northern Ireland similarly named. The lawyer who represents young girls abused by the former prince's friend Jeffrey Epstein says that should change.
Yes, absolutely. Especially Prince Andrew way, because we don't like his way of doing things and the people he associated with.
It would be a small sanction in the greater scheme of things, but symbolic of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's disgrace. Conor McCauley, RTE News, Belfast.